Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am actually going to be filming one of my riding lessons on chance, which is something I haven't done in a while. And in this video, my trainer is actually willing to be shown because I have a new trainer. So Chance is in the visitor's barn right now, and we are going to go in there and get him and tack him up quickly and go down to the arena for my lesson. So I went into his stall and I put on his halter. Sorry, guys. And I put on his halter, and I just let him out of the stall. I was trying to go fairly quick because my lesson started in just a few minutes, and we still needed to get down to the riding arena. So I walked him over to the post to tie him up and quickly groom him. He looked fairly clean, so I knew I wouldn't have to go all over him with curry combs and stuff. So I quickly just took a soft brush and I brushed him down and picked his feet. He was looking at me like, "What are you doing? You have not ridden me in so long," because I've been busy with Jet. Um, so yeah, I have been super busy with Jet. I've been riding him at tons and, you know, doing a bunch of training and stuff with him because he needed it. But I think I'm finally done working with him. So yeah, if you guys haven't already seen it, make sure you guys go check out that video where I rode Chance, or not Chance, Jet. Sorry guys. And then here I just took off Chance's halter and put on his bridle, and I did change the bit back from the harsh one that, not the harsh one, but the harder one I had with Jet to the lighter one. And Chance is super tall, and I normally don't film this part in the videos, but I'm going to film it today. I bring him over to the bench because I'm not tall enough to get on him yet, and I stand on the bench to get on him. And after I get up on the bench and get on him, I head down to the arena. Today I brought him right up to a trot, not a canter, but to a trot. And my trainer texted me and said, "I'm at the jumping arena." And I quickly texted her back and said, "I am on my way." And I brought Chance up to the fastest trot I could, and he was going everywhere. He was not listening to me. And we did start to canter eventually, and the ground was very soft. I know it looks like hard stone, but it's super soft. And I did warm him up a bunch in the yard before I started cantering him because I knew we would have to canter down to the arena for our lesson. But I didn't film that part. So I cantered him as fast as he would go because it was cold out this morning, so he was a little bit stiff. And I did do his stretches and everything. So there was just nothing I could do to keep him from being stiff this morning, but I did my best. And then once we got to the hill, I brought him back down to a trot, and he's good with trotting down the hill because he has such a slow trot that he will not like get ahead of himself and trip as Jet would, because Jet just likes to go as fast as he can, but Chance is more calm than Jet. And I pulled out my phone, and my instructor said, "Good." So I said, I didn't say anything because I was basically right there. I said, "Oh, do you have a course planned?" And I asked her as I was getting to the arena, and she said, "Yep." So I was excited. I galloped in there, and I said, and I just waved to her because this was my first lesson with her, and I hadn't seen her before. So I was excited. And I asked, "What are we doing?" I asked her, "What are we doing today, miss?" as I waited for her to respond. I think this was her first lesson she has ever had, so I was not going to blame her if it was, not very efficient. I have had very efficient lessons here, but the barn, all the barn managers this morning and stable hands were talking about, I created for you, watch first. They were talking about this new girl who was an instructor. And now I'm just watching her do the pattern with her horse, Calypso. Calypso is a warm blood, just like Chance. And they were both, oh, I'm going to tell you this, guys, as I watch. I got Chance's paperwork, and he is a pure warm blood, and he was actually bred here at the manor. She said, "Sorry, I messed up." I said, "No problem, it's okay." So she came back to the start to do it again. And I just waited and watched patiently. But I got Chance's blood work done, and he was bred here at Silverglade Manor, and both his parents were Dutch warm bloods, and they were super duper pure blood. So that explains why Chance is such pure blood. And he's a Dutch warm blood, which I was so excited to find out and surprised at the same time. I knew he was some sort of warm blood, but I didn't know what kind. So now I'm just watching my instructor doing the course, and I think it's a really nice course. I think I might mess up because I have a bad memory, but that's okay. And I was hoping it wouldn't be too long. And I was glad that she skipped the big green jump because it was cold out this morning and I didn't think Chance would be able to do it. So then I started, and I brought Chance up to a nice steady canter. And first I went over this big green one, and I was just glad she skipped the other big green one because I was not up for doing two big green jumps this morning. One green jump is fine, I guess, but two, no. I couldn't remember if she did that jump or not, so I just skipped it and assumed she didn't. And then I went over this one, and I stopped, and oops, I was, I was very embarrassed to say that I had forgotten the course that she had just shown me, and I wasn't quite sure with what I did. And then I backed up and I brought him back over, because then go. And so I brought him over to this one next to her, and I asked, "Can I try again?" Can I asked her if I could try again because I had forgotten, and now I had remembered the whole course nicely. So I was hoping she'd say yes because I just wanted another chance. Yes, and don't forget. I won't. I won't, I said to her because I remembered it now. I need to do things a few times to remember them, just like this. So after I had done those and I did this one, I went over this one and I turned and I went to that one. And I might have forgotten a turn here or there, but that's okay. And then I looped around here and I went over this yellow jump. And I thought I had done it, so I stopped Chance and I said, "Was that good?" And before I could even ask, she said, "Good." I asked, "What else do we need to do?" What? I asked her what else we were working on, and I was super happy with what we had just done because it gave me a chance, a course to work on. And she also said we were going to work on a little bit of dressage and flat work, which I was okay with because Chance, if I work with him on one thing for too long, he gets bored of it. So I brought him into the dressage arena, and I brought him up to a trot, and I was gonna do a little bit of dressage with him, and I started by trotting him, and I was mostly just doing flat work, but my trainer called it dressage, which I was okay with, and I wasn't about to stop her from calling it dressage. So after I trotted him a little bit, I brought him around in a little circle to keep him from getting bored. And I think it is really good for Chance to work on some flat work and doing circles and stuff to kind of keep him moving. Because if I just trotted him for too long, he would get bored of just trotting. So I trotted him and I trotted him, and then I went out down the arena straight, and I decided that in the middle of the arena I would do a big circle with him. So right here I did a nice circle with him to keep him going because he starts to get kind of bored. And I did realize a few days ago that I have to start using false throws with Chance because he just is kind of lazy sometimes. So yeah. And I really wish we did do jumping, but it was okay doing a little bit of flat work. I love jumping, and I think I do a little bit too much of it with Chance. And so it was good for him to have a break, but I still kind of wanted to do some jumping because that's basically all I want to do. And I didn't hear her when she said stop the first time, so then I stopped because she kind of got a little frustrated and yelled at me, but that's okay. Chance didn't seem to mind, and neither did Calypso. I think Calypso was used to it, and and um, I'm just gonna tell you guys this right now. After my lesson, that's all I had time. I think she said to do. Um, so then she said bye, and I said bye as well. That was a very short lesson, and I was hoping to get a new instructor. And he said class dismissed, and I didn't leave the arena. I just stayed there, and I walked Chance along the rail to look as though I was pulling him out because I didn't want her to think I was doing something else bad. So I walked him and walked him after, and she was standing there waiting for me. So I brought him back up to a canter, and I decided I was going to go back into the jumping arena and do a little bit more jumping with him. So yeah, I said bye. I said bye. I said, but I'm going to do a little more jumping. So at that, I shut off my phone and brought Chance back up to a canter and entered the jumping arena. We started by doing a little yellow jump, and I was finally glad that we had free reign and could do whatever we really wanted in the jumping arena. Because I got so bored of her bossing me around, and she was not actually a very good riding instructor, so I'm going to be asking the barn manager for a new one. He just, you know, partially hired her and wanted me to try her out. And he also said that I might be a little bit too advanced for her and she would be better off with some of the younger kids first starting because I did tell him all about how she likes doing like dressage and mostly flat work and didn't let me jump a lot with Chance. And he was a little bit upset because he had told her that what I do with Chance is jumping and cross country, and she said she would spend our lesson doing jumping and like all the lesson doing jumping, and she mostly did dressage. Um, so yeah, I'm going to stop complaining about that, and I'm going to let you guys turn on some music, and I'm going to do some jumping with Chance, and we might even go out on the cross country course before we go back up to the stable. as you can see, I was doing a bunch of flying lead changes with Chance and kind of just making him switch leads a bunch to get him going. And I did the doubles, and then I did the big green one, and I brought him back down to a trot. And I decided we would go on one cross country trail before we went back to the stable. So I brought him up the hill, and well, I waited a minute and I decided whether to bring him up the hill or if I should go to Golden Hills. And I decided I'd just bring him up the hill because today I had a bunch of stable chores duties to do, and I wasn't going to go all the way to Golden Hills and come back. So I cantered him a little bit, and then once we got to the hill, I trotted him. And going up the hill at a trot is a very good muscle workout. It builds more muscle in his front and in his back. So we just, calmly trotted back up the hill, and he was a little bit sweaty. So I decided when we got to the top, when we got to the top of the hill, we were gonna do the cross country trail, and then I would give him a nice good old walkout because yeah. And Chance loves the cross country trails, and I am going to be doing cross country with him, but I'm just doing some jumping with him right now for starters. And I am planning on showing him show jumping, cross country, and flat work. But I'm going to be showing him show jumping and flat work before I show him cross country because I think that jumping is really impacting and helping him with cross country. It's building a lot more muscle for cross country, and he has been doing a lot better with cross country since I started jumping him every day. So yeah, we were almost at the end of the cross country trail because Silver Flame Manor doesn't have very long ones. They're just short ones, and they do host a lot of shows here with these cross country trails, and so they don't want them to be totally long. And I had a choice of bringing Chance over the cliff or kind of taking this little shortcut through the bushes, and I did that instead of bringing Chance around the cliff because he wasn't a big fan of the cliff. And we cantered, and here I decided to just cut off the trail and go across the grass and bring him down to the beach where we could kind of hang out down there because there was a bunch of sand and water where we would probably cool off. So I brought him down to a walk on the old Silverglade Road, and we just calmly walked down to the stream, and we were gonna, play around in the sand and stuff and kind of just cool off down there. And here I took off my sweatshirt and put back on my t-shirt because I was starting to get a little bit warm after all the running and jumping we had been doing. So yeah, it is not winter anymore here in Jorvik, but it is certainly not warm yet. All the snow has left, but in the mornings to around midday, it is super cold. And it's about 2 o'clock right now, so Chance was hungry for his lunch, but that was okay. I hopped off Chance and I undid his polo wraps and took those off and just put them in my backpack, and he kind of just stood there and he didn't know what to think of the water. He was a little bit confused because I don't think I've ever brought him into the water before, but then he dunked his nose under and took a big, nice drink. And I didn't blame him. He was thirsty. There was water dripping from his mouth afterwards, and after about 20 minutes there, I got back on him and we headed back up to the stable. There was a little bit of a steep cliff, which he had a little bit of trouble getting up, but he managed. And he wasn't sweaty anymore. He was just hot. So we walked all the way back to the stables, and yeah. So yeah. And I was scrolling through pictures of Jorvik on my phone as we went back to the stable. Here there was a beautiful picture of a trailer, and eventually we had gotten back to the stable, So instead of putting Chance in the visitor's barn, I brought him right back into the regular barn because, yeah. So after we got into the regular barn, I got off Chance and I brought him over to his and I brought him over to his stall, and I was just going to untack him in his stall and let him eat as I untacked him because he was certainly hungry. The horses do get lunch here, and he was grateful for his lunch. So the first thing I did was I took off his bridle and his saddle and his pad, and I filled his water bucket while I was in his stall and his hay net. And then I headed off to the tack room, and I actually sprinted to the tack room because I wanted to hurry up and get on with doing my stall. So I got to the tack room and I ran in and I just I put the saddle away and everything else away, and then finally I grabbed the wheelbarrow and the shovel and I went out to do my stalls. And now guys, I'm back. I've finished my stalls and yeah. So I am going to be riding this horse, Bob, in the next video because I'm doing some flat work with him. I know he's not kind of a big draft horse. He is a big draft horse. He is actually a tinker horse, but they want me to, ride him and get him, used to doing some stuff. So yeah, I am riding him and I will be doing barrel racing with this horse and this horse, and I will be doing dressage with this horse, and flat work with, Bob, Pepper, Jet, or no, Jet's jumping, sorry, and cross country with this one. This one's also barrel racing, and this guy's also flat work. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and comment and like. And yeah, hope to see you guys in the next video. Hi guys. I just wanted to say big shout out to Augustine Orange Storm. Sorry if I said that wrong. But yeah, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. Love you guys. Bye.